There is currently a ton of controversy surrounding the new type of banner, the legendary summon Carnival. Now, you already read the title of this video, right? But I want to talk about the W's of this because, yes, there are a few W's that I think it's really important and fair to point out. But there's definitely more L's that I will also point out in this video. And then I want to talk about how Dokkan can improve and what we can do to improve moving forward. Because yes, there is an option to where we can have things change. I'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But again, we first need to talk about the banner in and of itself. So let's just go ahead and focus on the W's, all right? Now, the first W I need to point out, which again, I think it's fair to point out, is that Dokkan is trying new things. This game is extremely successful, so they don't have to change anything. Now, granted, the way they implemented it was not that great, and I'll get to that in a second, but I think we have to give props to Dokkan for trying new things. Again, if we don't like something, there's a way that we can voice that later on, but I like that Dokkan is trying new things because when this was first introduced, or when we saw this in the news, this was extremely hype and had the community talking. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way that we wanted it, but I like that Dokkan is willing to try new things and step out of its comfort zone, especially when it could benefit the player base. Not in this case, though, unfortunately. Now, another thing I really want to talk about is this right here. I think we have to give props to Dokkan for allowing us to get a buy 3 get 1 free discount for a very, very long time up here. They did not have to give us a buy 3 get 1 free, but this also comes with a problem, which again I'll mention in a second. But buy 3 get 1 free, very, very good. I pulled Goku off of the buy 3 get 1, oh, actually the free multi that you can get from these step up discounts, if you will. So this is a massive W. I think it's very, very, very fair to acknowledge that Dokkan did well in those two things. But let's I think that's pretty much it, honestly, for the W's. If I miss something, then maybe you can let me know. I'm trying to remain as objective as possible, but it's time that we move on to the L's of this. I mean, there's just so much to talk about here, but the first one I want to mention is the fact that this worldwide celebration is going to have 4 summon events instead of 3 summon events, which makes, especially for free-to-play players, it makes allocating your stones so much harder because this is not just a dual Dokkan festival and then some mid LRs in part 2 that people don't really care about, right? Dokkan festivals are not low tier units. Part 2, I fully expect the part 2 Dokkan Fest to be a top tier unit in the game, and if we have learned anything from these legendary summon carnivals so far, it's that these units are straight up 200% leads. These are not units that you can just go ahead and skip. These are units that you're pretty much going to want. It seems like Dokkan tried to implement a new rarity into this game without really calling it a rarity, but these flat 200% leads are definitely a step up in terms of power creep. I mean, again, the leader skill itself isn't power creep. I'm just saying that this is the new evolution of leader skills, just giving a flat 200% to one category. In the future, we're going to see 2 categories with like 200%. It's just how Dokkan is going to continue to evolve, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that, especially for free-to-play players, where do you summon? Because usually you summon for part 1, dual Dokkan Festival, and you skip part 2 because the LRs might be good, but they're very, 3 categories, 4 categories, mid kit here. It's easy to go ahead and move to the celebration like that. But now every single banner is a must summon. You can't expect players to pull every single new, unit from 4 separate banners. You know how many stones it requires to do that? On average, because I know people get extremely lucky, but not everyone is like that, right? So unless you're dropping a massive bag on this game, which you cannot ask players to do, you're not going to walk away with the units that you want, and it doesn't help that we don't know what part 2 is, right? I know we never know what part 2 is, but because part 2 is going to be most likely a top tier unit and another 200% lead, it's like, where do you spend your stones? You see, I do not like this at all. I like the format, if you will. Like, I like the change, but when I say I like the change, I'm saying I like how Dokkan again is trying to change things up. But if we've learned anything from part 1, it's greed is what I'm saying. Like, this is it's so much harder to skip these banners, man. It's greed without saying greed. You know what I'm saying? That's just at least part one, or I guess the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to you know, the first L, I guess I could mention. The second one I want to talk about is the banner in and of itself. Yes, there's buy 3 get 1 free. But, dude, this featured lineup, I mean, they could have either reduced the amount of LRs on this banner, or at least, if you're going to drop a banner of this caliber, at least update it with more recent LRs. Full Power Freeze's EZA, I like that he's here, because, again, he's getting an EZA, but his EZA, from what we've seen, he could look completely different in-game, to be fair, but from what we've seen, he sucks, okay? So, they could have had... If this banner, okay, had the most recent yellow coin LRs, which we'll talk about that also in a second, but if this banner had them, so let's say, and for both Global and JP, right, LR Physical Goku and Piccolo, right, or LR Grade 8 Vegeta, and LR Kaioken Goku, and all of these other recent, imagine JP had LR Merge Zamasu on there. This banner would have been a must summon. But they have a mid roster, and sure, you can say, but Mr. Baby, these LRs aren't necessarily mid because they're going to get EZAs in the future. You're absolutely right, but no one cares about these units right now. Dokkan wants you to what? Summon, right? So if this banner was updated with the most, maybe they can drop off the most recent yellow coin, but they add every single yellow coin LR up to like the last 6 or 5, whatever the case is, right? If that was the case, this banner would have been so much better. But it's just no one cares about these units, to be realistic with you. Like, what true massive value are you getting from any of these units? Let me know. Unless you're like completely new to the game, God Goku can help you in certain SBR stages, sure. I mean, these are Dokkan event LRs. These are not red zone LRs. And granted, sure, Gohan and future Gohan and Trunks could definitely help you in some red zone. Like, they're not the worst. If you get the revival off, they're going to be definitely powerful, but like, these are not LRs you're actively looking for unless they're your favorite, if you have some type of bias, or they're, you know, your favorite characters in the game. This banner is not good there's no benefit or W about this banner. Another thing I want to talk about is the coins, bro. Why did we have to introduce a new coin into the game? This should have been a yellow coin banner. There's two negatives I want to talk about, all right? First thing is that if a player wanted to pick up the new Goku, they would have to spend 2,500 stories from today moving forward on this type of, or on these types of banners to secure themselves a copy of Goku, you know, in the future. Which completely negates your yellow coins that you have right now. If you had 400 yellow coins, you only had to do, technically, right, 10 multis on this banner. And that way, if you don't pull Goku, at least you're secured to pick him up whenever he returns on the yellow coin banner. But that's just not the way you can't do that. Your yellow coins are pretty much worthless. That's another L too. Like, your yellow coins right now, why would you ever summon on a yellow coin banner? Explain to me. What is the point of yellow coin banners now? Are they going to have 200% leads? I doubt it. I think they're going to continue with this measly 130 stuff or 150% leads. There's no reason for you to summon on a yellow coin banner, especially because unless they change it in the future, these don't have buy 3 get 1 free. It's literal. This banner right here is an upgraded yellow coin banner. These serve absolutely no purpose now unless they start increasing the power that these yellow coins can provide. But your yellow, why would you want to summon on a yellow coin banner to save for a yellow coin LR if you can pick them up with coins when you have this banner right here? This should have been an updated yellow coin banner. This should have been part 1 should have been Dual Dokkan Festival, and part 2 should have been the new legendary summon Carnival with a 200% lead, and then maybe introduce another LR, because usually these part 2 banners have 2 LRs. So one of the LRs could have been a 200% lead, and the other one could have been maybe a 150, maybe a 170. But obviously there's a new upgraded power that you can expect from these legendary summon banners, but unfortunately that's not the way it works. It's 3 different types of banners now, which makes, again, allocating your stones so much harder, especially if you're free to play. Free to play players are hurting right now because of this. And personally, I used to be free to play a long time ago. I know what that pain is like, especially back in the day where you weren't getting over 100 stones per celebration, right? Nowadays, you're getting many stones per celebration, but we need to see like 200, 300, 400 free-to-play stones per celebration if Dokkan expects players to walk away and actually participate in summons that have 4 summon events instead of 3. It's just not great. Another thing I want to talk about, and shout out to the mods in Discord, if you know, you know. 2 of them specifically helped me with forming some of these things in this video, and I'm going to show you 2 of those things right now. So shout out to Truth. Okay, you know, I most of the time I do agree with what Truth has to say. No hate towards Truth whatsoever, and he brought up some really great points about the Carnival banner. I do think that to a degree people are you know, being a little too dramatic about this, but this is a legit issue. Like, this is, I'm not saying that everything that I pointed out so far is not an issue, because it 100% is. But I think people are definitely going a little bit, you know, above and beyond, which, you know, it is what it is. But there's one thing that Truth said that I do not agree with at all, and it was this right here. He said, if you don't like the Carnival banner, then don't summon on that and only summon on Cooler plus the Part 2 Dokkan Fest. While yes, this makes sense, the issue I have with this is Goku is not a measly Part 2 banner unit. He's not an LR Gohan and Krillin that no one cares for. This is the best, if not one of the best, LRs in the game. You just don't skip the best LR in the game. You can't say, hey, if you don't like it, don't stop. This is the best LR in the game. It's hard to expect players to do that, especially when we pull up this right here, right? This was a survey that was, I forgot actually when this survey was done, maybe after the anniversary. I forgot what it was, but the question surrounding this was to check how you play with the new characters you recruit, and 43% of people, which is the majority in this case, I forgot the sample size, but again, 43% of people mentioned that they like to check the character's performance. You know what that means? That means that players recruit characters for how good they are. So this doesn't mean anything, because Goku, if he's the best unit in the game, people are going to summon. People are it's almost like, I know they're not forced to summon because you don't have to summon on anything, but when they lock the best unit in the game or top 3 unit in the game behind this type of Carnival exclusive thing, it's again, I'm gonna go back to the word of greed. This is not something you can just eat. You can't expect players to skip something like this. Again, if it was a powerful comeback, you know, 150, and it was like some goal, like this is, you can't, a revival, stacking defense, a guarding unit, like you don't just skip this. This is not skippable. You see what I'm saying? I will never advise ever, if these continue to be the power of Carnival exclusives, I can never say just skip this. You see what I'm saying? Because in what world are you skipping, unless you're a fanboy? Let's say you're Nano. Shout out to Nano, right? Let's say you're Nano and you love Cooler, and Cooler's your favorite character of all time, then sure, you skip Goku, summon on Cooler, because that's all you care for, right? But if you're not Nano in terms of loving LR Cooler, or you're not just a big fanboy of Cooler altogether, in what world are you skipping Goku and summoning on Cooler? If you explain that to me, then maybe I'll give it to you. But there is no world where you do that. There's just no world where you do that, man. I don't know. It's just, again, it's greed. It's definitely greed. Yellow coin banners are worthless. 4 summon events is hard. New coins, you can't even exchange, man. You can't even exchange these coins for anything in the shop. I mean, when I say exchange, I'm saying like you can't sell the rainbow SSRs you pull in the coin shop either. And I know they mentioned it already in the news, but we know by now that they planned these things in advance. They could have easily just had it ready to go. Maybe the code to do that is a lot harder than I'm imagining. So maybe I can give them that. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think that the idea is cool, but there is no W that this brings to the game. None. A concept is, I mean, buy 3 go 1 free is definitely a W. But in practice, I don't see, and maybe I'm forgetting something. Let me know if I'm forgetting something. And again, I don't think I'm really overreacting either. I think what I'm pointing out is facts. I think trying 4 summon events instead of 3 makes it harder for you to decide where to summon, especially when there's a dual Dokkan Festival in Part 2 that we know are good units, and another legendary summon Carnival in Part 2, which might actually bring out another 200% lead. It is a fact that it is harder to now allocate your stones. It is a fact that free-to-play players are going to look at this and scratch their heads and say, what the heck do I summon on? What do I save for? Sure, I'm gonna go all for cooler, but dude, the Dokkan Fest might be the best unit in the game in Part 2. Like, usually Part 2, right, they're not, the power of Part 2 units are not the same as Part 1. But again, if we've learned anything from the cooler and the Goku, that might not be the Part 2 units might actually end up being better. And if that's the case, the community is going to go crazy because, dude, imagine spending all your stones in Part 1 just to have them power crept by the units in Part 2. I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think. Now, in terms of ways like Dokkan could improve here, right? I think when it comes to the banner, right? This banner there could have been definitely a few changes here. First things first, again, change this to yellow coins. If Dokkan just scratched this idea and converted all of your teal coins, whatever, to yellow coins, no one on this planet is going to complain. Especially now that Goku himself is going to now become available with yellow coins in the future, right? Second, again, either reduce the amount of LRs on this banner or make it the most recent yellow coin LRs just to make summoning more worth it. Another thing they can easily do is make this banner a double rates banner. When we all heard the name Carnival, we all thought that this is going to be a double rates banner. It turns out it's not a double rates banner. They can make the first rotation maybe double rates. Or maybe double rates for the first 12 hours, right? Or maybe maybe you summon, buy 3 get 1 free, and you get tickets, and every ticket allows you to perform a multi or something like that. Or maybe a certain amount of tickets allows you to perform a multi where that multi is double rates as well, right? They could have had some type of double rates built into this that would have made summoning a lot better. But unfortunately, that is just not the case. So this banner, it's just, I don't know, man. Another thing I want to point out too is that there's probably going to be a survey at the end of this celebration that actually allows us to voice our own opinions. I'm telling you right now, if you do not like this, or honestly, I would say everyone voice your opinion about how bad you did not like this. If they see the stats, if they see the statistics come back from their survey and see that 99% of players did not like this, then I think something has to change. Now, maybe nothing does change because, again, you cannot expect players to skip this unit. So, evaluating the performance of Goku or the performance of the Goku banner, I just don't think it's fair. Because if they look at the numbers if they look at the performance of Goku in game, they're going to think that players love it. That is like a biased way to look at how we enjoyed this. We didn't summon on this Goku because we love the banner. We summoned on Goku because he's the best unit in the game and he's going to help out in multiple forms of content that Dokkan has introduced into this game. That is why we summoned. But if the survey comes out and we voice our opinions and see that we hated this, then something can change moving forward. Again, the name, dude, I love Carnival exclusive. The idea is cool, but the banner needs to change. I dare Dokkan, make this double rates. Add a new LR who maybe isn't a 200% lead, but maybe is a 160 lead, a 170 lead to 2 categories, something like that, right? Start powering up these yellow coin LRs in terms of their leader skills, make this banner better. Why not just improve? Why introduce a new banner type when you could have just improved yellow coin banner? It makes no sense to me, man. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I think I was pretty objective in this entire video. Maybe there's an L or two that I missed out on, but unless you're dropping a bag in this game, man, it's just I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully I got my point across, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, and peace.